Breaking news. Another person was mysteriously murdered in their home in the dead of night, presumably in their sleep. Jane Todd Richardson was just one of the other 12 people who were murdered by the enigmatic Ghost Stalker. There are yet to be any people who were met by them and survived. The town has placed a mandatory curfew that everyone should be at home by 8:30 p.m. Remember to stay safe. It was a witching hour. The streets were shrouded in darkness, and rain was pouring heavily. Most of the people in town were fast asleep in their warm beds, but one person was still wide awake, Liu Woods. Liu was laying in bed, but he kept the lights on and was holding a shotgun loaded with salt tight in his arms. It was tough for him to sleep, because every time he did, he would always have nightmares. And every nightmare had the same horrible, pale face, a wide, bloody smile, and sunken, maniacal eyes. Liu knew that was his brother Jeff, even though Jeff died years ago in a house fire along with their parents. Liu was the only survivor. He still remembered seeing Jeff sneak out of a room carrying cans of motor oil, but he was too tired to care and went back to sleep. That was his biggest mistake. A minute later, the house went up in flames, and in a panic, he ran out of the house immediately. Jeff and their parents weren't so lucky. After the incident, the police found Jeff's diary, which he kept in his school locker. Apparently, he was responsible for multiple murders in the town, including those of specifically Randy, a kid who bullied him. At the end of the diary, Jeff mentioned his final plan, which was to burn down his family home with him in it. Jeff's case shook the town and left everyone in disbelief and horror. Nobody thought that something like that could happen in such a beautiful place. And as for Liu, he had to live in a foster home until he was old enough to move out. He thought that he could live at peace, but no. Every night would be plagued by horrible nightmares, and every one of those nightmares included Jeff. But it didn't look like Jeff. More so a twisted version whose ghostly appearance exemplified his worst traits. Liu had to resort to taking sleeping pills to help him sleep peacefully. Even then, the nightmares would occasionally seep through. Eventually, though, he felt better, and was close to recovery until he found out that people in town were getting killed in their sleep recently. The police didn't have any leads. This caused Liu to withdraw into his old, scared self. He came up with a ludicrous idea that Jeff somehow returned and is out to get him. But no, that wasn't true. He was just going crazy. So now, Liu has resorted to taking naps every few hours during the day and sleeping with his salt-loaded shotgun, believing that it would get rid of evil spirits, such as Jeff. He decided to talk with his therapist about it, who recommended some extra medication. Great, like that will distract Liu from people getting murdered in his town. Anyways, whether it was Jeff or not, Liu still surrounds his apartment with salt and stays wide awake most of the time. And on this night, here he was, in bed, trying to stay alert, whilst having bags under his eyes and his brown hair messy and long. Liu was lying there, trying his best not to fall asleep, when he thought he heard a laugh outside his window, making him jump. He looked outside only to find out it was just an owl hooting. He sighed and laid back down in his bed, only to hear a door slam. He jumped out of bed again, but decided that it might have just been his next door neighbor. Yeah, that's what it was. Suddenly, there was a clap of thunder and a strike of lightning outside. While Liu was shocked at first, he shrugged it off, since it was stormy outside. Still, out of curiosity, He scanned the street outside and gasped. It was a hooded figure standing on the road, illuminated by a street light. They were staring up at Liu, and it looked like they were holding a knife. Then, without warning, the figure began twitching madly and ran straight into the apartment building in a way no human should. Liu dared not to breathe, and held his shotgun tighter. He caressed his cross necklace that he would always wear, and thought about calling the police. But was he just seeing things? Liu started to doubt that what he was seeing was real. He shouldn't worry about Jeff. He shouldn't. Jeff wasn't haunting him. He was just seeing things. Just hearing things. Everything was alright. He doesn't need to worry. And when Liu suddenly felt calm, he heard a door slam open. And this time, he was certain that it was his door. He covered himself with his blanket like a child would, but Liu noticed something strange. There were no footsteps. After a while of waiting, Liu threw off his blanket and slowly creeped over to his bedroom door. He shakenly placed his hand on the doorknob and opened it. His shotgun was ready, but there was nothing. Liu chuckled nervously before exiting to investigate. Liu proceeded to quietly tiptoe throughout his apartment. It was really dark. The only source of light was the lamp light coming from his room. Liu entered the kitchen and turned on the lights, and saw, to his horror, a figure in a white, bloody hoodie with its head down, standing in the kitchen. Liu instantly turned the lights off, and it was gone. He screamed in terror and ran straight back to his bedroom. At the doorway, he slipped on the salt and hit the ground in a painful thud. Liu was exhausting all of his energy to get back up, slam the door, and jump back into his bed. Liu aimed his gun at the door, ready for anything that was about to come in. The door creaked open, and there he was, standing at the bedroom entrance, was Jeff. Jeff's face was illuminated by the lamp, and it was hideous. His face was pale, he had no nose, his eyes were sunken, and he had long black hair. But his most disgusting, most horrid feature was a wide, bloody smile slashed across his face. Jeff looked like he was holding a large kitchen knife, but Liu realized that he wasn't actually holding it. It replaced his hand. Liu instantly shot Jeff, who dodged the assault in a flash. "Bad decision, Liu," Jeff whispered as he slowly walked towards the bed. "Still, I finally found you. You don't know how long I've waited for this." He leaned over to Liu and lifted his knife, smiling with the look of a starving wolf that had finally found its prey. His breathing was raspy and inhuman, almost like a demon's. "Calm down now," Jeff said upon seeing Liu shaking. "Just go to sleep. All right?"